In this video, I'm going to discuss the upcoming Tengah BTO in the October 2026 BTO launch. Now, if you want a house in the west area, if we look at the lineup in the upcoming October launch, this is the only project that is being offered that is located on the west side of Singapore. This project will have about 710 units of 2-room flexi, 3-room, 4-room, 5-room, and also 3gen. In terms of on-site facilities, this project is also quite complete because it will have an eating house, a mini mart, several shops, preschool, and also a kidney dialysis center. If you're wondering how far is it from the MRT station, well, if you are willing to walk under the existing Plantation H1 BTO, then it will be less than 400 meters to Tengah Park MRT station. In terms of classification, I have no doubt that this project will be categorized as a standard flat. Now, how about pricing? As you know, there have been quite a lot of BTO launch in Tengah in the past several years. In total, I counted there are like 20 something. But for price reference, maybe let's look at Plantation H1 and 2, which was launched back in October 2023. So back then, 2-room flexi prices starts from $114,000, 3-room starts from $232,000, 4-room starts from $353,000, and 5-room starts from $460,000. Given that it's been 2 years since then, so probably let's assume that the price might be increased by maybe 3 to 5%. But I do believe that this Tengah BTO will be positioned as one of the budget option in this October lineup. Now, if you are worried that Tengah is still not very convenient for day-to-day living because it's still very rough, well, objectively, this BTO is launched at almost the tail end of the many BTOs that were launched in Tengah. As such, actually, there have been quite a lot of other developed BTO as well as amenities in the area. At least it's better versus the first movers several years ago. Objectively, I do believe that by the time that you collect your keys, let's say maybe 4 or 5 years down the road, I do believe that Tengah will be even more developed versus what we are seeing right now. Next, let's talk about the location. So this is the map that HDB gave. As you see, the land plot is basically near Pioneer Primary School. So if we look at Google Map, because we can use that school as a landmark, then I conclude that basically the land plot that HDB is going to launch this October is basically this one. And since the area is still developing, probably it's easier to look at the URA plan. So this is the BTO plot, and as you can see, it's being surrounded by a lot of other BTOs. So for example, this is Plantation Verge, this one is Plantation H1, this one is Plantation Acres, Plantation Grange, and this one is Plantation Creek. As you can see, there will be a health facilities coming up just across the street from the land plot. I'm guessing from the size that this will be a polyclinic. And then for this part, the HDB map said that there will be a proposed sports and recreation facilities over here, and also there will be a park. One thing to note that the Pan Island Expressway is just behind this land plot. You only have this small strip of water and also like maybe several trees to buffer between this BTO and the PIE. So I think if you face this side, you will still get exposed to the expressway dust and noise. So that's a watch out. Now, having said that, you might ask, so where is the nearest MRT station? So the nearest one is this one, Tengah Park. So if we check the point-to-point distance is about 400 meters. That is assuming that you are willing to basically take the shortcut under this BTO lah, which I think very much doable. Because this complex is just another BTO, Plantation H1, then you can just take a shortcut to reach the Tengah Park MRT station. Now regarding amenities, there are actually quite a lot of on-site facilities already, but if you want more amenities, you can easily get it here, which is around the Plantation Village area. So you can just walk there via this park, and I think it's walkable. Of course, otherwise you can always take a bus or take an MRT to go there, but the point-to-point distance is less than 500 meters. Of course, if you have to take the road and then go via the park, maybe it's slightly longer, but less than 1 kilometer away lah. So it's quite close. As you can see in the Google map, basically that's the Plantation Village, Retail Street, and the Plantation Plaza is also over there. So it's quite quite close with amenities in Tengah area. Now, regarding school options, as mentioned, Pioneer Primary School is just across the street. But other than that, Kanji Primary School is under construction. It's also quite nearby. Jurong Primary School is on the other side of the expressway. There's Jurong Field Secondary School, etc. So as you can see on the map, actually there are quite a lot of schools in the area. So this is good for families with young children. Now, as you can see, the MRT station closest to this BTO location is actually still under construction. So according to the internet, Tengah Park MRT station is scheduled to be completed in 2028. So by the time you collect your keys to this BTO, the MRT station should be already operating. So that's good news for your convenience. Regarding potential view, as mentioned, there are actually already a lot of other BTOs surrounding this land plot. However, if we look at the map, it seems like several blocks that is facing this way, so facing the body of water, might be able to get a little bit of the waterfront view, because if indeed this is a polyclinic, then it should not be that high, right? It's not a skyscraper. So assuming that this is a low-rise building, then those in this particular site will be able to see the park as well as the body of water over here. However, the watch out would be this side because it is facing the expressway. And if we look at the URA master plan, so this is the Pioneer School, right? There's actually another school coming up here. This is going to be an educational institution as well. So most likely this will be low-rise building as well. So if let's say you want an unblocked view, try to pick block that is facing this way or this way. Now let's talk about the pros and cons of this project, starting with what I like about this. So Tengah BTO is one of the affordable option, which is good if you want to be prudent with your financials. And from the October lineup, this is the only option on the west side as well. So if you prefer to live in that part of Singapore, then this is your opportunity to secure a house here. I also appreciate that it is relatively near an MRT station, assuming that you are going to take the shortcut via the Plantation Edge one. And then I also appreciate that the MRT should be ready by the time you collect your keys. In terms of on-site facilities, this BTO is also good because it has an eating house, a mini mart, several shops, preschool, and also kidney dialysis center. But if you want more amenities, you can simply walk over to Plantation Village and also Plantation Plaza. It is also still within walking distance. Another thing that I like is that the land plot will have a polyclinic nearby as well as a park and sport facilities, which is actually good for families. Like anyone who has young children, as you know, especially when you have babies and toddlers, they need to go to polyclinic so many times for vaccination, right? So that will become very, very handy. And also if you have aging parents, it's also good to have health facilities nearby. And then I also appreciate that Tengah nowadays is very different versus Tengah 5 years ago, because now there are already a lot more facilities. So the pain that was felt by many of the first movers by now is already settled down lah. Nowadays already got bus services, got more retail shops, etc. So it's more livable now. And I can only imagine, let's say after the construction is done for this BTO, Tengah will even be more developed versus now. For young families, this area is also quite good because there are quite a lot of school options, whether it's primary, secondary, and even if, let's say, you're blessed with special needs children, there are also special needs school nearby. In terms of potential application rate, I am guessing in October, like most people would flock to payoh BTO and also bayshore BTO. So maybe not many people will pay attention to this Tengah BTO, which means that's actually a good news for those who sincerely wants to secure a house here. Less competition is good if you want to secure a house. Now, on the other hand, what don't I like about this plot? Surprisingly, the list is actually kind of short. The first thing that is a watch out is definitely because the PIE is just behind the land plot, right? So hopefully you'll get a good queue number, but if not, watch out that several blocks do face the expressway directly, which will impact your day-to-day life qualities with the noise and also the dust, and also will impact your future resale potential. Another important thing to watch out is for singles, this BTO is actually not ideal. Why? Because it only has 180 units of Turun Flexi and 100 of them will be allocated to seniors, which means that after splitting the allocation with first-timer families, second-timer families, this means singles will only get about 52 units allocation, which is quite low. So I don't recommend singles to apply to this project unless you are feeling so lucky. Another thing that I don't like is that you will experience some construction noise because the land plot in front will be an educational institution, right? That one is not built yet. And then another land plot behind, which is across the expressway, is going to be another, most likely another BTO, but it's also not announced yet. So meaning the construction will be in the future. In summary, I think this BTO actually surprises me because when I first look at the lineup when HDB announced it, right, I thought, ayo, this Tengah lah, just no need to pay attention. But then honestly, the more I study about this land plot, actually it's quite decent, especially for families who just want a roof on top of their head that is good and safe for families, and also got reasonable amenities near MRT station. This is actually quite a solid option if you are looking for affordable option. But of course, to be transparent, I would say that objectively, Yishun BTO is still the best option in October if you are focusing on like affordable option. But then my second best option would be this one, Tengah BTO, if you want something that is affordable. But what do you think? Let me know in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye-bye. To support my work, you can give a one-time tip by pressing the thanks button, pick the amount that you want, and click buy and send. Or you can also press the join button for exclusive contents and monthly membership. Your support means a lot to keep us independent. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye-bye.